What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Burley Oak Brewing Company, and they are out of Berlin, Maryland, and this is their Double Apple Pie J.R.E.A.M. So they're calling this one a sour ale that is brewed with a variety of different apples, along with cinnamon, vanilla, brown sugar, and lactose. Comes in at 7% alcohol by volume, 6 IBUs at the time of review. This can is approximately 6 months old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Alex, for hooking me up with this one. So thank you very much, good sir. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Alex hooked me up with, and he hooked me up with another J.R.E.A.M, and I'm pumped up to give this one a go. So this one is a bit older at 6 months old. I believe when Alex sent me the beer mail, this beer was around 4.5 months old. I took my 1 month break and now I'm back to review it. So, you know, it's a bit older, but we should be fine. It's been kept cold the entire time. I believe they released this one a little bit before Halloween of 2019. So maybe like a fall seasonal. I mean, apple pie, fall time, you know, just apples in general, right? So it makes sense. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is the beer already poured? Well, when it comes to these beers, the J.R.E.A.M series, and just like, you know, fruit smoothie IPAs in general, or beers where, you know, there's a lot of excess fruit puree in them and they can undergo a secondary fermentation, a lot of times you'll get cans that will gush or explode. And this one gushed. It didn't explode. I lost a couple ounces of it. As you can see, there's about maybe, I believe this is a 18-ounce glass, might be an 18-ounce glass, so almost at the top, maybe 2 or 3 ounces I gushed into the sink. When it comes to these beers, I usually open them over the sink off camera, then come and review them on camera, because I don't want to make where I review, I mean, basically I review, you know, a couple of these per week basically at this point. So I don't want to have to wash my tablecloth and just make a mess of the area. So opening these off camera makes sense. So if you're wondering, that's why. Anyway, let's throw this one over here. Now I've had, you know, a decent amount of J.R.E.A.Ms, and behind me on the pretentious wall of bottles and cans, I reordered and rearranged things when I came back from my break, and I threw 2 J.R.E.A.Ms up there. You might see it behind me. I like the series. I like it a lot. Very delicious. I've liked every beer I've had within the J.R.E.A.M series. Motorcycle going by because it's warm out today. But anyway, as you can see, it pours out. It kind of looks like slightly oxidized, like New England style IP. Really dark. It has like the deep dark orange color, almost like brownish tints. Very carbonated. As you can see, there's remnants of like the apples and whatnot. With these J.R.E.A.M beers, you get the pulp and whatnot on the glass, the sediment you can see at the top. But yeah, very hazy looking. I mean, it looks kind of what I expected it to look like based on the ingredients, so it's nice. Now, we'll say when I was pouring it, it kind of smelled like apple cider vinegar when I was pouring it over the sink. So it smells like it right now. It's like a half a foot away from my nose, and yeah, it smells like it. Yeah, apple cider vinegar all day. It has more of a tartness and almost straight on sourness than a lot of these beers can have. You know, a lot of times they're really sweet, the fruit smoothie kind of IPAs, and this one kind of smells like a mixture of apples, a little bit of a vinegar note from the base sour. There's definitely cinnamon there. It's not really heavy, but again, 6 months old, you might be, you know, a little bit lost. There's really no vanilla to speak of. Yeah, not a huge sweetness on this one. This one's more like straight on, just tart, approaching sour on the nose. The apples are there, a little bit of that cinnamon. Does it smell like an apple pie in sour beer form? Not exactly, but it smells pretty good. It smells like it's going to be quite refreshing. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again, Alex. Ooh. All right, this is lower side to almost a firm sourness. Wow, really gripping the palate. I'm starting to get the brown sugar on the back end. That's cool. Very acidic in the back of the throat. First things first, the body on this one. This doesn't have the thick, super pulpiness that some of these J.R.E.A.Ms have had. This is more like a higher side medium body type of mouthfeel, so not really thick. But I think I actually prefer it with something like this. I don't know if I want this one to be like almost chewy, you know, or like fruit smoothie-esque. The mouthfeel, I want to say it was, I forgot the other J.R.E.A.M I had, it was a mango one. And Jelly Not Jam, actually, now I'm thinking about it. It wasn't the J.R.E.A.M series. It's Jelly Not Jam from Burley Oak. It was apples, pears, and something else. Or maybe it was just pear, cranberry, whatever. That beer I had, that Alex sent to me, This kind of has the body mouthfeel that it has a spritzy carbonation on the palate. It's very effervescent. It doesn't have the fruit smoothie-esque kind of quality body and mouthfeel-wise that the Dreams have had for me, but I don't mind that. I think it actually helps in this situation. I don't know if I'd want this to be really thick, super creamy and soft. I think I actually like it being, it drinks like a regular sour, so that's cool. I like that aspect of it. The taste though, it's mostly apples, a lot of different apples, like Granny Smith, sour apples, a little bit of like a sweet red apple. It's right at the forefront. As it passes through the palate, the vinegar-esque kind of quality to the sour hits. It's almost like I said, apple cider vinegar is kind of where I'm going with this one as far as the tasting goes, because you get the apples, you get a vinegary kind of sensation through midway through the palate. Then it hits like halfway through the palate onto the second half of the palate. That vanilla and lactose a little bit creeps in, a little bit of like a sweetness. And then on the back of the palate, the brown sugar kind of finishes it all together. So there is like apple pie-esque qualities to this one, but it's kind of underlying. This one's just more like a sour ale with apples. Now the cinnamon I don't really talk about. I'm not getting a ton of cinnamon on the palate. There's like an underlying cinnamon kind of presence to it. It's omnipresent, but it's not one of the bigger characteristics. It just has a slight spiciness to it. Right at that brown sugar finish though, that's where the acidity kicks in. Very acidic beer. Probably gonna have heartburn from this one. We'll see, but it's definitely acidic on the back of the palate. There's no bitterness to speak of here. The sweetness is there, but I think from the acidic nature of this beer and just the sour aspect, it's not like one of these sweet dreams where it's just like straight on, like I said, fruit smoothie or like fruit juice. It has actually sour-based qualities to it. It's not my favorite dream. It's not my favorite Burley Oak beer. Now hang on. Right in the middle of saying that, I got hit with some kind of like pie crust quality. I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, a little bit of like pie crust. All right. That's different. This is kind of a mindfuck, honestly, to me right now. Yeah, at first I was thinking just straight sour ale, apples, cinnamon, a little bit of like brown sugar. But now as I sip on it, a little bit more of that apple pie quality is coming to the forefront. A little bit of that vanilla and lactose is bumped up a little bit as it continues to warm up. This isn't straight. Like by the time I poured it and everything, and came out here, this is like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes out of the fridge. So it's not, ice cold or anything, but it's starting to warm up a little bit, starting to get a little of that pie quality. I'm enjoying it. So I was going to go rating wise 4 out of 5. I think that pie crust quality, I'm gonna knock it up slightly higher. So I'm gonna give Double Apple Pie J.R.E.A.M from Burley Oak a high 4 out of 5. I'm gonna go 4.1 out of 5. I think that's a fair score. Like I said, not my favorite dream, but it's still really tasty, and I just like I like the uniqueness from this one because so many of the dreams can just be like straight on fruit smoothie, fruit juice or whatever, and this has qualities to the base beer. And I guess the Dream series for me, I guess that's kind of why I like it too. A lot of times I can taste the sour portion of the base beer in these Dream series, and a lot of times with the fruit smoothie IPAs or fruit smoothie beer sours you can't. And I think with this one, I am. So 4.1 out of 5, 7%, really not, detecting any alcohol. And even if I got some on the palate, I think that acidic bite on the finish and just the sour nature and qualities of this one will kind of erase any kind of alcohol presence, unless it was a huge booziness at 7%. You're not going to get that. So price and availability, I believe these are brewery only, and I think $22 a 4-pack. So would I pay $5.50 for a can of this again? Probably not. I didn't pay it in the first place because Alex was kind enough to send it my way. I would pay that again probably to try it fresh, to see how much of a difference it is. But as is, a 4.1 out of 5 is a really good score in my opinion. It's just when you're paying $5.50 a can or almost $6 a can, a 4.1 out of 5, while it's a good score, I don't think I would go back and grab this one again. Knowing how it tastes now, like I said, I maybe would buy a can to just try it fresh. But at the end of the day, the Dream series is delicious, and the other Dreams I've had from them have been better than this one. But it's still really good, and I'm glad that I got a chance to try it. So thanks again to Alex for hooking me up with this one. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. If you've had this one before, any of the Dreams, let me know what you think about this one, or what do you think about the series in general, or what you think about Burley Oak. I've had a lot of Burley Oak beers now, courtesy of guys like Alex and the guys over at 21090, Todd and Andy, and I can safely say that they make really good beer, and this is another example of a beer, despite being 6 months old, still pretty goddamn good. So thanks again to Alex, thanks to everybody, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one, cheers.